Hey, I'm back. In this video, we're going to talk about why ketosis and intermittent fasting really works. Now, in a lot of other videos, I talk about the benefits just by avoiding junk food, high amounts of sugar, reducing your insulin. That alone is huge. But there's some other very important reasons why you get health benefits from keto in IF, and I want to teach you what that is. So I want to introduce you to a new word, hormesis. And this word is in the field of toxicology, okay? What this word describes is a cellular process that involves an adaptive response to a low-dose stress that gives favorable biological effects. Okay, what does that mean? It basically means it's a good stress, like exercise, for example. You add a stress to the body and then you get a positive outcome. And here's the word, eustress, you meaning good, positive stress. That's what this term is describing. So you're exposing someone to a low-dose toxin or a stress, and the body adapts and it becomes stronger. So with ketones, you're basically shifting the fuel source, which does create a little stress on the cells because it has to adapt, and that takes a little bit of time. And also with intermittent fasting, you're actually doing a version of starving, but intermittently, okay? It's creating a little bit of stress to create all sorts of interesting effects, which I'm going to get into right now. Okay, so when you adapt to ketosis, it usually takes 3 to 5 days, but it could take even longer if you have very severe insulin resistance. There's some really interesting things that happen. Number one, you get this massive surge of antioxidant production and defense. Now, antioxidants are things that help to counter free radicals. A free radical is an atom with an unpaired electrons. Now, normally you have 2 electrons to balance this atom as it's spinning, and if you actually have only one, it's going to create an unstable effect, and it's going to create more damage in the body. And the theory is that if you take an antioxidant, it lends an electron to this atom and it stabilizes it. Now, when we're talking about antioxidants, we're talking about vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and these antioxidants come in networks, okay? So when one vitamin donates an electron, it becomes unstable and it has to get an electron from another antioxidant, so that's why they come in networks. They actually share electrons back and forth. So you get antioxidants from the environment, and you also make antioxidants. So your body has the ability to generate antioxidants. And one of the triggers for this is called B-hydroxybutyrate, which basically is a ketone. Okay, so ketones trigger this effect. What happens when you're generating all these antioxidants is you're creating an enhanced resistance to oxidative stress. Now, oxidation from all the glucose and the high levels of insulin basically corrode out your kidneys, your eyes, the inside of your arteries, your nervous system, your brain. So generating ketones and doing intermittent fasting basically resists chronic disease because most chronic disease stems from oxidative stress. And a lot of the damage takes place in your cellular factories. They're called mitochondria, which is the energy factory of the cell. So doing keto and IF enhance the mitochondrial function. Now, ketones don't just act as an alternative fuel source. One function is they help the mitochondria generate energy and maintain energy during a nutrient deprivation, fasting or starving. And that function explains why your energy goes up when you do ketosis and intermittent fasting. You would think it would go down because you're not supplying any glucose to the cell, but you're providing a different fuel source, but it's causing the mitochondria to become more efficient with its fuel, and you're actually more efficient with oxygen. You're also getting less waste products. You have a lot less hydrogen peroxide waste with this system. And lastly, you have enhanced nutrient absorption. And this is why the requirements for nutrients are much less when you do intermittent fasting and ketosis. You don't need exactly to follow the RDAs. You can get by with less nutrients, especially because you're eating less. Symptoms of adaptation. So when you actually are adapting to ketosis, a lot of times people have keto fatigue, keto rash, whatever. They have all these different symptoms, okay? So why is that? Well, there's certain nutrients that are needed for fat oxidation or fat burning, because now you're switching your entire metabolism to burning fat, no longer glucose, and you're going to need certain nutrients that you probably didn't need when you're burning glucose. So the requirement does go up with certain nutrients. But you also need more potassium and magnesium, and one of the reasons is to counter the acid effect that is generated with ketones. Ketones generally are acidic, so there's an interesting study, I'll put a link down below, of children with epilepsy and generating an acidosis effect and adding in alkaline, mineral-rich greens to counter that. And there's some really interesting positive effects that happen. I'm going to put a link down below. You can check it out. When you do ketosis, you're really just cutting your carbs down, right? And a lot of times people cut their vegetable carbs out. I don't think you should do that. First of all, it's not going to affect insulin hardly at all. Secondly, you're going to get the benefit of these minerals in the large quantities of vegetables that I recommend. And that's definitely going to not only counter the pH issues to allow things to work a little bit better, but you're going to provide the fiber for the microbes so they can make more B vitamins. And I have noticed when people start adding the vegetables, they have hardly any symptoms of adaptation at all, compared with other people that might have a lot of issues. But it's really just a matter of adding in the B vitamins and the minerals and sea salt to prevent any problems with adaptation. So as you can see, the benefits of going on keto and IF go far beyond just the reduction of sugar and reduction of insulin. Thanks for watching. So if you want to get notified with all my content, click the notification bell next to subscribed.